Oh, good. You're here. The sun's about to come up. I've been waiting to talk to you, to all of you. And thus, the world ends. But not the story of Alan Moore's Promethea. This is my review of Promethea, of the end of the world, of the apocalypse. I'm your host, the woman in red. Let's get started. So I consider Promethea to be Alan Moore's definitive work for me. An exploration of the divine feminine, the spiritual journey of a woman, and all that that entails. What is a woman? The question has gone out. This is the 20th anniversary edition. It's in 3 volumes, as you can see over here. This is volume 3. All of them are worth it. All of them are beautiful and lovely and deeply meaningful to me as a woman. In our society, the divine feminine has kind of been split up. Christianity does not really acknowledge it at all unless a woman is the mother figure or the fallen woman, the woman in red, the Babylonian Hua. In secular or pagan culture, we see that the woman as the girl boss, as, you know, the trans woman as being better than women, as, you know, femininity kind of twisted into yet another form. Let's consider Madonna. Is Madonna really truly embodying the divine feminine? Is Beyonce? Is Erica Kirk? No, not in my opinion. I don't see any truly spiritually divine women. Promethea is the take on Prometheus. You know, the woman who dedicates her life to knowledge. I've dedicated my life to knowledge, and I don't see a lot of heroes out there. I don't see a lot of people or women embodying this energy, this sacred female energy that we're all given, you know. In the Toltec path, which my channel is about my following the Toltec path, in that path, it is about intelligent cooperation between men and women. Do we see this in everyday life? No, we're at a crisis point. No one knows what role we're supposed to play. Every man I've ever met wants me to be the breadwinner and wants to hitch his wagon to my star and have me drag him up the hill and be a mother to him. You know, all of these different things. Even in superheroes, Ms. Marvel is this 90-pound woman being CGI'd through all these different scenarios where she's punching men and she's acting like a man. And it's all just very confused. And I think a different voice needs to be heard. I think the voice of Alan Moore is very coherent and very beautiful in trying to raise this energy. We need to raise the divine feminine to end the world, to unveil Isis, as Blavatsky stated. So, what is this book actually about? It is a graphic novel. It is a comic book. It is a book of pictures. It is a book of magic. This is a magical artifact. By reading it, it will change your consciousness. It will change your beliefs, as it changed mine. And it is about a woman named Sophie. And so we're starting out with the Gnostic kind of aspect to all this. Sophia is the female embodiment of wisdom. And in Gnosticism, Sophia is the mother of the demiurge, the storm god that rules this realm. You know, she's letting her little toddler son rampage around and throw us all around and churn us in the big meat grinder of life. But really it is the divine feminine that is running the show or is behind the curtain or all that stuff. So Sophie is a human woman who is the female embodiment of wisdom, and she gets this Promethea energy, enters her life. And as the story goes on, other women and men who have channeled this Promethean energy reveal their stories, reveal all the stories of woman, all the different ways that a woman brings something to the table. The woman represents the unknown, the mysterious, the water, The man represents the known, the visible, the foundation. The woman is 3 and the man is 4, if we're talking about the Kabbalistic spheres, which this book goes in to explore. So this woman, Sophie, in New York in 1999, I believe is when the story starts. This energy enters her life and she begins her magical adventure. She begins going into the Imaginarium, the imagination land, where all of our dreams are born, where Hollywood has stolen your ability to dream. It's time to learn to dream again. And so she gradually goes through these adventures and iterations, and there's things happening in the real world, and there's things happening in the mystical spheres, the unseen spheres from which the limitless light emanates. As the limitless light at the top of the Kabbalistic tree of life emanates its limitless light, it gets filtered down and kind of solidified until it gets down to the 10th sphere, which is Malkuth, which I'm saying all of them wrong. I've heard different people say these words in different ways. I say them the way I do it. So Sophie has to learn. She has to become a magical adept. She has to travel up through the Kabbalistic tree of life in her search for her mission, her truth. Why is this energy coming into her life, and how does it interact with the real world? And her journey takes her from the imagination, from different imagined spheres like comic books or movies, through to the tarot. And in the tarot, the way Alan Moore describes it, I believe is incredibly beautiful. He talks about the tarot as the Fool being the start of life, and it goes all the way to complex life forms, to the height of intelligence, and then, back to the beginning of nothing and yet everything. What a beautiful story. And then later she goes up the Kabbalistic tree of life, and all the different spheres are shown. These different spheres are associated with different numbers, different tarot paths, different colors, different fragrances, different symbols. All of these things form this visible world that we have around us. And, spoiler alert, at the end, Isis is unveiled, as Blavatsky said. And I agree with Blavatsky in that, these energies, these Promethean energies, the Apollo energy, the Artemis energy, these aren't gods as we conceive them as persons, as humans, as embodied people. They're more energies that you channel, channeling the energy of Apollo, the sun, the music, the resurrected solar deity, the resurrected solar deity of Jesus, of Mithras. All these things recur, all these echo each other. I think that at the baseline, all of these things, these similarities are all that we can know as the truth. Because who knows what the truth is? It's ridiculous. Is it Jesus? Is it Buddha? It never made sense to me that women were so excluded from Christian life, from Buddhist life. Most Buddhists will maintain that a woman is incapable of reaching enlightenment, which is something that I discovered in my time studying Buddhism. So where this intersects with my life is that I went on a spiritual journey 10 years ago, or, you could say my whole life. I've been on a spiritual journey. I've been on a quest for knowledge. And very rarely is the female aspect touched upon. And these books, at a time, really gave me strength and courage to keep going. It showed me the way, even though, I may not ever practice Kabbalistic magic. That, it's not something that I believe in. I've had experiences with deities that were very unfavorable and scary, and so I don't want to invoke any guidance or spirits, but still this story provided me with so much comfort. And at one point Sophie enters into the abyss, the Da'at, the invisible Sephira. This is the abyss, and at the time I remember understanding that I was in the abyss. This was a reflection of where I was going, not as a function of ego, but as an acknowledgement of what I was going through, because the things I've been through are insane. And here I am, smiling, strong, powerful, able to try and convey this knowledge that I acquired in the abyss and bring it to you. And Alan Moore is a part of that. I have so much respect for him as a magician, as a wordsmith, as, you know, a man who is able to create these beautiful magical artifacts that have touched my life. You know, heroes can be used as you can see the heroic energy in your life. You don't have to be famous or beautiful or tall. I am none of these things. I am not loved by mostly anyone, and yet I have power, and yet I have something inside me. I don't need to reach out for your approval. I already gave it to myself. Don't you want something like that? You know, we can be heroes in our lives. We can stop being frustrated and powerless and pushed back and take back our power, take back our minds. Stop filling it with AI slop. Consider magical runes. Look at the tree of life. Consider how these energies affect your life. How can you acquire knowledge and not just information? I've been on a journey where I cannot just sit there and passively sit back. I have to take action. Part of this channel is taking action. Ordinary people can do extraordinary things. It's all about what you believe. The magician chooses what she believes. And so I invite you, I invite all the women of the world to rise up, to embody this divine feminine energy. And if you look around, I see the apocalypse happening. Apocalypse means unveiling. Occult knowledge just means hidden knowledge. And nothing is being hidden anymore. And what happens after the world ends? Things keep going on and on. Don't you want to find out? Don't you want to start your definitive journey of wisdom? Whether you're a man or a woman, because one of these stories is about a man who embodies the feminine ideal of Promethea. We all have a male side and a female side inside of us. And so integration and ascension, or whatever you want to call it, however you want to conceive it, starts with us reconciling that male and female energy within us. I have a strong male energy, but I am still a woman. There's no denying it. It doesn't matter whether I wear makeup or dress up. My being a woman has nothing to do with wearing high heels or the role I play. It is something that arises within the heart, within that mysterious unknown. And to gain knowledge, you have to go into the feminine, into the unknown. Aleister Crowley shows up a couple of times on this journey, meets her on different stations of the spheres, the music of the spheres. And sometimes he's a woman, and sometimes he's a man. And Alan Moore talks about how the male magician tries to penetrate this secret knowledge and then ultimately must be penetrated by something. What do you think he's talking about? Well, it's up to you to figure that out. So let's rise up. Let's take charge. Let's end this madness. Look at all this stuff that's coming out about Jeffrey Epstein, about how women traditionally have been thrown in the meat grinder. Our daughters, our young women are being exploited and destroyed, and the only lever of their power is between their legs. It is in their youngness and their desirability. We need to reclaim this energy. We need to rise, Promethea. What do you think? Let's do it, ladies.